Hey folks, time once again to do some CSS battles of the past. These are from February 6th, February 7th, and February 8th of 2024. Very curious to try these old ones out. They are seemingly very simple, but a really interesting set of challenges to how to optimize. How little code can you write to do them? So let's just start at the beginning. I'm going to do my standard blank template, and I think this is two elements. It's an element on top of another element. If I do a margin 0 on, then there's no space between them, and then I give margin to the top 4, 5, 6, 7. So this should be twice as big as it needs to be. So if I decrease the height, I should get the right thing. 4, 6, 7, 8. So each one is 40 tall, or each one is 80 tall, and so that's 160 tall. All right, 70. Okay, so let's set the background. So what's that shape, right? Like really, what we need is to set a background that fills this in. And the first thing I think of is the conic gradient. And in this case, it's transparent, 25%. And then this color, 0. And then if we move it over, if we set a width to it and make it not repeat, or make it only repeat on the y-axis, we do repeat y and then move it over. So there we're moving it over, and then that's fine. That actually is doing what we want. And then we're going to do this thing where we flip it upside down using scale, and so now we have the same error in both places. By adding an at value, we get almost correct. It's not 10, it's not 15, 20, is it 15? How about 16? 15, 14. I think it might just be something like 20 pixels, 30 pixels, 30, 40 pixels, and that's it. So very pleasing shape. A single conic gradient gets you this, as long as you repeat it on the correct axis. We minify, and that is a background, and that is accomplishing that design very, very handily. I like that one. I like that one a lot, and that's a better score than I've gotten in the past too. Lots of ways to do this. You could do 4 individual objects, right? And then borders on the body. Lots of ways. Lots of ways. Okay, this one. I think this is a really interesting one. So I'm going to put the background on the body, and I think what I've done this in the past, I'd used paragraph, 4 paragraphs each with specific look and feel. I think today what I'd like to do is to do a tall element constrained with margins, and then see what that looks like. Let's do conic gradient, of course. And it's going to be this orange, 25%. And then I am going to explicitly do the yellow, 0, 50%. And then I'm going to do the orange again, 0, 75%. And then the yellow again. And that's going to be the basis of what we're doing here. So let's use, so we got 0 margins. Actually, we need margins on the body, because to get something all the way off there, I think that we're going to have trouble if we don't. Let's try not to, well, actually, let's try not to do that, just in case there's a way to do it, and I'm just not thinking of it. 50, 60, great. And then what I'm going to do first is have it just be as wide as this. So let's go let's go bigger margin, 10, 20, 30, 32. Okay. And then what height do I need to make it fill? 210, 220, 30, 40. That's fine. Okay, so I didn't have to worry about margins on the body making trouble. And I don't have a background pattern, so I'm okay there as well. So what do I need to do with this gradient to make it do what I want? If the height is, okay, so let's do at 20 pixels, 20 pixels. That's the idea. And actually what I want it to be is, no, that's fine. All right, so so it's at 40, 40, and that gets us a perfect match for this. And then if we have that be at 0, 0, and then give it a width, I guess it's 80 pixels wide, we get that shape. Look at that. Oh, I like that. So if we add another element, well, it's off screen right now. Let's make the margin of our variable var dash dash m, comma, or that. And then the second one has a different margin. And actually it's going to be a different height as well. So var of dash dash h or 240. In this case, I think I know I want it to be 80 pixels tall. So h is going to be 40. And then our margin is going to be minus 100. There it is. 0, 0, 0. I don't know exactly what those numbers need to be. Probably more than 132. 150. No, one less. 82. And just to see what I'm doing, I'm going to change the background to something obvious. So I want to move it into place. I want to move it up here to cover that up. So I need more negative 2, 10, 20, okay, and then a little bit more, 92. Is that what I want? No, I need to go higher. How about 180? Minus 180. Oh, and our height is wrong. It needs to be 80. There we go. So 220, 260. Yeah, that's the area that I want to replace. And when I do this, oh, I didn't think of it. Okay, so I didn't think of it. So that's wrong. So strictly speaking, okay, change the plan. I'm going to change the background again to only be the part that I want to change. So it is 220 that I want, and it is 40 that I want. So the alteration that I want to make is to the background position. So when I say var p for position, or the default of 80 pixels, and then I'm going to change this background position. P of, and I guess it's going to be 0, 40 pixels. Is that right? I don't know. Is that working? Is the question. 0, 80 pixels. 0, 0. I can't see anything now, so that's a problem. There it is. Okay. So that background is not doing what I want it to do. Oh, the width is correct. So I changed the wrong thing. It's this. So var dash dash P or 0, 0, and then I need to change the vertical position. Or I don't understand anything. 20 pixels. There we go. Okay, so we're making an alteration. Oh, okay, there it is. Oh, so that's the same problem. Ooh. So is what I'm trying to do not possible? Yeah, so this is the bad idea part. I still like this. But it's just wrong, right? Like, okay. And then the problem is it needs to repeat. Yeah. So, all right. So let's. Okay, so I only need a 0 there. So what I need to do, rather than muck around, I'm going to do var dash dash G, so I'm going to replace the whole gradient. I thought that I could very simply replace the whole gradient, but I guess I can't, not in a way that's clean. So instead, let's do a linear gradient that is orange 25%, and then the yellow for the rest. Oh, and it has to come in from 90 degrees in, and then it has to be at 0, and then it has to be 1 pixels wide, or 125 pixels wide, or 140 pixels wide. 60, I'm sure I'm getting. There we go. Okay, so that's what we wanted. So again, a funny one. And this is the first paragraph, and the second one is moved into place. So unit replace and minify, and then we're done. Learning, everything's a learning process. You know, you think you have something pretty clever, and then you run into the repeat problem, which I guess I could have done this one first, and then covered it with this one, with the second one, and that maybe would have been a little smarter. Yeah, that would be the other way to do that. So do the vertical bar first, and then this one would have slotted into place. Yeah, okay. That's fun. All right, next. More ad hoc squares. Okay. So what is this? The only way to do it is to do it. Is this 2 elements? I think it's 2 elements. Okay. So what's our top? And I think that we're going to need negative margins if we need anything. 0, minus 20, 10, okay, and then 20. So what's the way to do this that's the simplest? 80, 60, and let's go ahead and set this color. And then another one. Is it right in the same row? Oh, I love it. Okay, so if we make this a variable, var dash dash m for that, and then the second one, dash dash m, is going to be, what is it going to be, 60, that almost gets it, 60, 80, 6090, 6095, 6100, 6102. So there it is. So what background can I do that will be in common for both? And I think it's a linear gradient. That's that. I give it a width, or 50%, 50%, 50%, 50%. And then I give it a width of 40 pixels or something. And I guess I need two colors here, don't I? That is not working. Why isn't that working? Oh, because I don't have the right colors. So, and then, and then say only repeat Y. Right, repeat X makes it go all the way across. This makes the width of this only go, and the 50%, and I only need the first one. Yes, you only need the one X position. And then I make this wider. Oh, 48%, too wide. Oh, and I can't use percentage because it's the same size for each. 50 pixels, 60 pixels. Oh, and that's the opposite of what I want. What I want is this. Is that what I want? What do I want? Yeah, that's what I want. I want to do the dark color here, but then I do have to give it a background color here. And that gets it. That's not bad. Let's submit that, make sure that's 100%. Pretty fun. Pretty fun, pretty silly. I like it. It's great. Yeah, that's great. Let's minify and replace, and we'll all go home. How's that sound? All right, resubmit. So that's a fun set of very geometrically simple, but with many choices for how to do these. You could also create each one of these and then do them as a box shadow, right? So this one, and then box shadow for each. Another possibility. You could also do this as the inner has no background, and then it's margins on each side. Like, there's just so many different choices to create this particular shape. So what does that look like if we do, actually, 60 minus 8. We put 0 margin. Yeah, we're not going to do that. But many choices. How did you do it? I'd be curious to know if you got the CSS Plus and CSS Battle Plus and do these. How are you doing it? It's fun to see other people's solutions. All right, so that's February 6th, 7th, and 8th of 2024. On about 55% of the past CSS Battle daily targets done, and I will continue doing them because they are a lot of fun for me. That's it. It's rough out there. Be nice to each other. Make something cool with HTML and CSS. The web is an incredibly powerful and democratic publishing medium. You can publish on the internet. There are options. Take care. Be well. Bye.